true.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Naturally true. And here's why. I think modern women in America today behave as if an effect has no cause, right? It's almost as if these things are just happening. No, if you invite that type of man over to you and then you entertain him, like you said,
I got news for you, Trigger Mike. That's not just women today. That's most women. Welcome back, guys. Mike here, Money Manager Media, and today the title is if you're attracting a man who is a problem, then the problem is you. You know what else is a problem? Not having 1,000 subscribers, because remember, that's the goal. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Let's go.
Get caught up with the wrong person. And a lot of times people are showing their representative. People have this version of themselves that they like to show you at the beginning, because men love to say like, oh, women ignore red flags. It's like, listen, sometimes you guys are really great, and not just men, women too. People are really great at showing their representative, showing a certain version of themselves that they think that the other person might want to deal with. But then once you get down the line, like, you can only act up for so long, but the more you deal with them, the more you realize, okay, maybe this is not who they actually are.
If you are the problem, the man that you attracted is the problem. Because you the problem.
Yeah, okay, we get it.
How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all agree, disagree? I mean, I'll save my thoughts for last, but I'm gonna let Miss Taken start it off. And if you're not ready, then Miss Lady over here looks like she might have something to say. So
Well, it's okay. So I actually agree with that. I think that the energy, that you put out is the energy that you attract. Now, I know certain things are not like exclusive, like 100% all the time. Sometimes you do end up, a partner that may need some more self-development, things like that, that have issues that you weren't aware of initially that come out later on. But I think for most of the times, I do think that we attract what we put out, because your energy is going to be recognized by others that put out that same energy. So if you find that you consistently are in relationships with, toxic people, the only constant thing in each of those relationships, that common denominator, is you. So at some point, you have to do some self-reflection and be like, why do I keep ending up with guys like this, or women like this? And I think it's you at that point, if there's a consistent pattern of behavior of women or men that you end up with in relationships.
So I agree that if you are engaging and entertaining um, problematic people, that you're the problem. But attractive people attract all kinds of people. So just because I'm attracting people from all walks of life, people with all kinds of things going on, that don't necessarily mean that I'm the problem. If I were to be comfortable dating and entertaining.
Semantics. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here, semantics. Because the essence of what Miss Taken was talking about before was being in a relationship. Now all of a sudden we move the goalposts to start talking about attracting people. Look, attracting people is irrelevant, because if you don't pick those guys anyway, what difference does it make? Absolutely none. Attract 1,000 guys, and it's always the men that you pick. And that was the impression that I got from Miss Taken. We are picking people who are toxic and then complaining about it. You need some self-evaluation. The problem is that most of the time it's, well, let's wait a little bit. Let's save it for the summary. Let's go.
Entertaining that person or engaging with a person that I know is not good for me, then I'm a problem, because I'm not valuing myself enough or valuing my peace enough to not be entertaining certain types of relationships. But to make it seem like a person is like this whole law of attraction stuff has people in a chokehold, because everyone gets to try to say, you know, Okay, so let me preface this by saying we're all responsible for every obstacle that we've gotten ourselves through, right? I'm not going to say we got to pass the buck or nobody else is to blame. Absolutely not. But it folks trying to make it seem like just because they understand that you attract a reflection of what you are means that everything that comes your way is your fault. No. Everything that you engage though and everything that you entertain is on you. But no, you can't. I'm not about to be taking responsibility or accountability for anybody else's character flaws just because they tried to like act like they were someone else or put up a representative for me. Nope, not doing it.
What's up, Trigger? What you got on this one?
Man, I took notes. Let me stop. But seriously though, to your point, Lady Mogulette, I'm not sure the spirit of this, the post or the thing that she was saying was the people you attract. Naturally, attractive women are going to attract a multitude of people. Everybody's going to shoot their shot
Oh,
at an
that sounds
attractive
familiar.
woman. It's more of an approach. What kind of approach do you attract? All right, a girl who got on, cutters, you know what I'm talking about. Those type of shorts, and women are doing what? They're wearing no bra out, really sheer looking things so you can see their nipple rings. You're going to attract a certain type of approach, and some women accept that approach. I think that's more so what she's talking about. That's where the problem comes in, because if you are not, first off, why are you wearing that? I love how women who wear stuff like that try to say, why is everybody pushing up on me? I'm a respectful woman. No, if you're dressing like that, you invite that type of approach and then you accept it, therein lies the problem. So I do believe the statement is 100% true,
Makes sense. Yeah.
naturally true. And here's why. I think modern women in America today behave as if an effect has no cause, right? It's almost as if these things are just happening. No, if you invite that type of man over to you and then you entertain him, like you said,
I got news for you, Trigger Mike. That's not just women today. That's most women. Most women, just think about it. Let's just break this down for a second. Most women would prefer a man who's a leader. The leader's job is to come up with the plan. How many times do we hear women talking about going on dates and the guy didn't have a plan? He don't know what we're doing and he's asking me and it's a turnoff. That happens all the time. Women don't like to plan things for the most part when it comes to relationships. They'd rather let the guy lead. And that makes sense. That's the way things are, right? But we can't just hang women out to dry when it just doesn't fit. We're trying to make a narrative when we're trying to we're looking at the other side of that coin and saying, well, no, this is a problem. Women don't like to plan stuff, period. It's not just modern women. That's an inherent trait. That's a trait for most women.
that is the issue, right? Because it's the attention that people are so thirsty for. As a man, or should I say in this particular scenario, the hunter, as a person who's doing the hunting, I already know the type of way I'll be received if I approach a certain type of woman. If I'm reading all of the nonverbal cues she's given out, if I'm looking at the way she's dressed, if this isn't my first time meeting her and I've been able to study the way she carries herself, like let's say in college, me and girls that had classes together, that type of stuff, you know what I mean? I know the way I'm gonna be received when I approach her. Of course, you can ask your boys; they'll tell you, "Nah, go for it, dog. She she wide open." They'll say all type of things because they know that's the approach that woman accepts because she dresses that way, she puts herself out there like that, and that's the energy she attracts because that's the energy she puts out. She doesn't look like she takes herself seriously. She's very superficial in nature, and we've developed an archetype of woman we want to sleep with and not take serious in our minds as men, right? So I definitely agree that that mindset, like of having, um, carrying yourself like that, is what creates that problem for women, and they can't get out of it, right? I believe they go past the threshold where they're such closed-minded daters, right? That that's the type of man you like, the man that's approaching you. He's obviously toxic, but because it's the one you keep getting, you just keep waiting for a good version of that, even though it's never going to happen.
Now he said something profound. I'm gonna go here because everybody's going. Well, Curse for Life hadn't gone yet, but I kind of feel like, well, we know the direction this conversation is, right? I think that there is a key element that's missing, though, and that would be the difference between men and women. This statement mostly applies to women. Why? Because as guys, we choose who we try into, who we interact with, what type of women we're looking to form relationships with, if that, right? So one of the big problems is that when you get guys who are complaining on the internet about all women are hoes and everything else, and then you look at their dating history and then it's like, okay, bruh, this is all you hang around. Well, what you expect? And it makes sense why some guys had that attitude is all these women are 304s and all this other stuff. Yeah. Look where you hanging at, bro. Case in point, there's a podcast that's in Miami, and that's all they talk about. They have a late night show, and they invite a bunch of women in, and you need to start looking at who they're inviting in. Yeah, it becomes blatantly obvious. I mean, for them, I understand it because they're trying to monetize on that. But look at all these other men on the internet, all these other podcasts, and they sitting here complaining about the women. I'm almost certain that if you look in their dating history, yeah, it's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of 304s. And you wonder why you're getting the results. But you'll come on the internet and shame a bunch of women when it's like, okay, well, there are, believe it or not, personal opinion, I think there are a lot of good women out there. I just think that a lot of times what happens is we as men, we disqualify them because they don't match certain categories and automatically put them in the bad women category. See, it's the same. Women do the same thing, right? There's no good men left. Well, number one, there's two sides to that statement. Number one is, exactly what this title is talking about. Yeah, the good men are trying to avoid you because you're toxic, plain and simple, right? The other part is that, yeah, there are good men. They're just not a good match for you, right? Because the things that they excel at, you're not looking for. And this is why, we will continue to talk about, I'm going to continue to talk about the vetting process being broken in our community, because until we fix that and probably about two more other issues, we're always going to have these relationship troubles, right? But this is why fathers become so important, because the vetting process, because most of the things that are attractive in men, that men have that women are attracted to, it's a lot of surface level stuff today. And that gets prioritized over traits that are going to benefit the relationship long term. And most of the time, it takes a man to see those traits and prioritize them. Women are terrible at picking mates. That's just what it is. This is why we need to bring the vetting process. We need to strengthen it back. We need to build it back up again in our community so that we can start because it'll alleviate some of the issues that we have in marriage, which, by the way, is another broken social construct in our community, right? Because divorce rates are ridiculous. But the whole point is that having the vetting process in place will eliminate some of the fears that come with marriage. Because then if we can start helping women pick men who are overloaded with long-term values or long-term valuable traits, you're going to see the divorce rate go down. I've talked about this in other videos, that while the divorce rate is high, there are things that you can do to mitigate that. But look, that's the topic for another discussion. I'm gonna leave it here because I already know you can see where the conversation is going. I don't think we need to continue. But for your own viewing pleasure, I would say go check out the Lapeef Experience. Right? I'm gonna say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe. But also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.